Today, we are going to clear the air about a pretty big misconception that some people have when they think of self-care. Listen, you do not need to be spending hundreds of dollars on hundreds of different products or going to luxury spas to be able to feel like you are taking care of your self-care. At its foundation, at its core, self-care isn't just all about having bubble baths, using face masks and scrubs, and lighting candles. And don't get me wrong, although I myself also really love all of those things and they do have their place under the umbrella of self-care, that is not what self-care is in its truest and rawest form. And they do play their part in helping our self-care, but for those who may not be able to invest in those types of self-care practices on a regular basis, that doesn't mean that you're not able to practice your self-care. Actually, practicing true raw self-care is 100% cost-free, and I'm going to show you how and why. Self-care is a pretty broad term that includes a bunch of different self-care practices, such as mental health and emotional health. Within those two categories, we have anxiety, depression, and stress management. We have meditations. Self-care also includes physical health, such as diet and exercise, but it also includes things like massages and acupuncture, hair care, skin care, nail care. There are just so many different types of self-care practices, and all of them are really good. And although I really love all of the different practices we did just mention, I can tell you 100% without a shadow of a doubt that the foundation of true self-care starts in here. Whenever I have conversations like this with people and they ask me for advice, I always tell people to start inside your mind. Our minds are way more powerful than we give it credit for sometimes, or at least remember to give it credit for. Our minds control our thoughts, which in turn has a big impact on our emotions. We don't necessarily control our thoughts or our emotions. We're just kind of subject to them because we're all living a human experience, and that is part of the human experience. You don't really get up out of bed in the morning and think, I'm gonna choose to be sad right now just because I feel like being sad. Or I'm gonna choose to be excited out of the blue. Or I'm gonna choose to be really pissed off right now. We don't really choose to think those things or feel those things, but based on what happens in the environment around us, that influences our thoughts that we just have, which in turn can influence the emotions that we experience. But what we do have control over is how we respond to that human experience, how we respond to the thoughts and the emotions that we are having. So inevitably, when we do come across that human experience of feeling negative emotions, whether it's depression, anxiety, stress, sadness, anger, whatever it is, we need to know how to take care of ourselves mentally. And starting up here is going to be what sets the tone for everything else. The following 6 things that we are going to talk about are ways that I literally changed my life and the way I see the world, the way I respond to situations in a positive, productive way. I have a feeling that they are really going to be useful to you and hopefully change your life in that same positive way as it did mine. But before we hop into those 6 different practices, take a second to make sure that you are subscribed to my channel with notifications set to all so that you will be notified when I post a new video every week all about self-care and personal development. These 6 practices are really practical, and I will say that they are going to take a little bit of time and effort, well, a lot of time and effort. This is something that you have to consciously make an effort into implementing in your daily life whenever those tough situations, thoughts, or emotions come up. And I promise you, as the weeks and the months and the years go by, if you are consciously practicing this every single time that you are experiencing a difficult time, over time it's going to become second nature to you, and it's going to become easier and easier to use those mindset techniques to help you through a tough situation. So the first self-care practice is knowing when to say no. Let's say you already have a huge workload that you are trying to manage, barely managing. Maybe a colleague at work or somebody that you're working on a project with asks you to take on yet another task. They probably don't know how much you have going on and that you're almost at your breaking point. But a lot of us might feel pressured to want to please people, that we don't know when we need to take a step back and say, no, I'm sorry, I can't. Or it could be something as simple as saying no to going out with your friends. It is so great to socialize. It is so great to see your friends and go out and have fun and make fun memories. But I'm sure we can all relate to it getting to a point where it's just too much at once. So let's say this is the third weekend in a row your friends call you up saying like, hey, it's Friday night, let's go out. And although you might want to see your friends, those types of outings can add up pretty quick. So since you went out the past 2 weekends, you might be a little bit short on cash for the rest of the month. Your alcohol consumption for that month might be way up because of going out for the past 2 weekends. And you're over here on the other side of the phone thinking to yourself, oh, but I'm so tired, I just want to sleep. I want to save some money this week, and I feel like I have just been drinking way too much, whatever it is. And you want to say no. Nothing against your friends, but you just want to say no to going out. Don't feel pressured into saying yes. Say no. If that's what you need, that's taking care of your self-care. And your friends will understand. Your friends aren't gonna hate you if you say no, you can't go out or you don't want to. I mean, if they do get mad at you, you should probably have a conversation with them about that. But honestly, your friends love you and they care about you, and they're gonna understand if you say no. The second self-care practice that I wanted to share with you is knowing when to say yes. So when you have a desire or an idea that you've had for a while, but you've just kept holding yourself back from it, we need to really consider saying yes to ourselves sometimes. We either hold ourselves back or we are afraid of other people's opinions, the opinions of our family members, friends, colleagues, our acquaintances, or we are just afraid ourselves of embarrassment of starting something, telling people we're gonna do something, and we're afraid of our own embarrassment from failing. And we don't want other people to say, oh, I told you so. So when it comes to these things, we really need to pay attention to what our gut and what our heart is telling us and what our desires are. And kind of, to be honest, just ignore everyone else's opinions and 2 cents and thoughts, because everyone's going to project their own opinions onto you based on what they think is best for them. And it could be coming from a really pure and genuine place. Now, the thing is, if you don't do the things that you want to do, if you don't try the things that you want to try and say yes to yourself, you're going to regret so many things. You're going to be haunted by the dreaded question, what if? Right? So when we actually say yes to things, when we say yes to trying new things that we really want to do, even if we fail at it, even if it doesn't work out the way we wanted it to work out, you are not going to be haunted by what if. You're going to know that you gave it all you had and you can be proud of yourself. You are going to learn something from that situation. I don't know what it is. It depends on your unique thing. It depends on what happened, but you are going to gain something out of it, even if it's not totally obvious what that thing is at first. You're never gonna know what's possible for you until you say yes to yourself. So the third self-care practice that I wanted to share with you guys is doing little things to set your day up for moments of ease, tranquility, and peace. What the hell does that mean? Basically, what I mean by this is doing the little things around your house or little tasks that you know you need to do in order for you to know that since you already completed that task, you can have little moments of peace later on. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Part of my night routine, which is a video that is going to be coming out really soon, so keep an eye out for that. But part of my night routine is to make sure all of the dishes are washed, that my cat's litter box is cleaned, and that the trash is put out for the next day for the trash pickup. Why do I intentionally do that at a very specific time every night? Well, it's because I know that for me, I love the morning times. And when I wake up to a clean kitchen with clean dishes, with my cat's litter box already clean and the garbage already put out to be taken, that's something I don't need to do first thing in the morning. I can just focus on my morning routine. When it's time for me to make my coffee in the morning, I don't have to worry about washing anything. I can just go straight in there into an organized and clean space and make coffee. So by completing those tasks the night before, I know that I am intentionally setting up my day the next morning for peace, for tranquility, for being able to focus on the little moments that make me happy, and just knowing that those tasks are already done. By the way, I'm going to link this video that I posted in the description box for you. It is all about how to create your own unique personalized self-care morning routine based on your needs, schedule, and interests. So make sure to check that out in the description box below. The fourth self-care practice that I want to share with you is to keep the space around you clean, clear, and organized as much as you possibly can. So when we allow the space around us to get cluttered or dirty and we just kind of let it go, that's really gonna impact our motivation to be productive. I'm not saying by any means to deep clean your house every day or once a week. Let's be realistic here, okay? But what I do mean is the spaces that you occupy every single day, like your desk or the kitchen, the living room, your bedroom, just make sure that those spaces stay organized and clear. So that means laundry, instead of putting your clean clothes just on the bed or in a corner on the floor and never folding them. That means to immediately fold them when they are done drying and put them away. That means keeping your desk organized, so throwing away any unneeded papers, keeping your pens and highlighters and just all of your different tools organized. The space around us can absolutely affect our mood and our motivation to do things. So absolutely try your best to make sure you maintain an organized and clutter-free space. By the way, make sure you do check out this video that I created all about how the space around you can really affect your self-care. In the video, I show you step by step how I completely transformed on a budget a room that was full of clutter and mess. It was a disaster, and how I transformed it into a really calm and peaceful space that I love to be in now. So definitely check that video out. I will link it in the description below. Self-care practice number 5 was a game changer for me in my mental health and mindset journey. So it is to practice meditations. The reason why meditation is so amazing is because it is literally you versus you. Right? It is you versus your own thoughts and your own emotions. And you have no choice but to face those thoughts and emotions and learn how to cope with them, learn how to deal with them. Doing meditations such as mindfulness meditation, which for me was the first meditation that really started my journey, those are so important to do because the more you practice them and the more you have those positive experiences with your emotions and your thoughts and how you respond to yourself, the easier it's going to be over time to manage anxiety, to manage depression and stress when it comes up, because it will come up. Those emotions happen to all of us. So it is really important for us to be equipped with the proper skills and way of thinking and way of handling it to be able to make sure that we are okay and we can respond in a positive way. The last self-care practice I want to talk to you about today is being kind to yourself when you fall off track. I know you have experienced this. We all have. It is just part of being a human being. When you fall off the wagon, right? When you get off track in your exercise plan, going to the gym, workouts, your diet, so you start eating like crap for like a month straight, right? Your routines. When those things happen, because let's face it, they have happened in the past more than once. Some of you may be going through it right now, and it will happen again in the future. We're gonna fall off track again at some point. But what's important to remember when that happens is that how we treat ourselves and how we talk to ourselves when we do fall off track is so important. When you're already off track, you feel bad about being off track, so why would you make it worse by talking negatively to yourself in your head and saying that you're a failure, oh my God, I shouldn't be eating this, I shouldn't be doing this, oh, how could I let this happen? You just have to remember that's where the mindset training comes again. You have to be gentle with yourself without making excuses for yourself at the same time, if that makes sense. Who cares if you take a month off the gym? The world's not gonna end, you're gonna be fine. Who cares if you went to Taco Bell? Who cares if you had cheesecake? Who cares? Like, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes that stuff just happens, and there's no point in making ourselves feel crappier about it while it's happening. But at the same time, you need to think, okay, it's okay that this is happening right now, but I'm not going to allow myself to stay like this. Get yourself back on track. But when you are off the track, Don't make yourself feel worse than you already do by saying negative things to yourself. So those are the 6 self-care practices I really wanted to highlight today. And again, I want to emphasize how important they are, because you could be doing all the face masks in the world. You can be getting a massage a week, doing bubble baths, all of that stuff, which again, I love all those things. But if you're doing all of those types of self-care practices and neglecting the one that's the most important, which is your mind and your mindset, that's not really practicing your self-care at its full potential for the parts that are actually really life-changing and important. At some point in your life, you're just gonna get to an age where all of the skincare stuff in the world is not gonna make any difference, right? And that's okay. That's a normal part of life. We age. There's no way of stopping it, and there's no reason to be scared of that. But my point in saying that is when you get to that point, what you will still have that is going to continue to determine your self-care and how you feel about yourself and how you think is your mind. I feel like everything needs to start with your mindset and training your mind in the best possible, productive, positive way. I'm telling you that is what self-care at its essence, at its core, is really about. So everybody, we are at the end of the video. Don't forget to check out those 2 videos that I mentioned earlier in this video. They are linked in the description below, and they might also be on the screen somewhere here, I don't know yet. But if they're not on the screen here, they're definitely in the description box linked below. The beauty of self-care is that it's a journey that is unique to each individual person. So I am curious. Let me know in the comments below, what does self-care mean to you? If you liked this video and are looking forward to more content just like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel with notifications set to all. Leave a like down below if you liked this video, share it with a friend, and make sure to leave that comment down below as well. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this video useful and that you can use some of the things that we learned today in your own life. I really look forward to seeing you all in next week's video, and I hope that you are having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. I'll see you soon. Bye.